Welcome to Deep Whispers, where stories aren't just told, they are felt. In the quiet corners of the world, where shadows stretch long and whispers echo deep, extraordinary tales unfold. Stories of courage, resilience, and the hidden strength within us all. Here you won't just hear a story, you'll experience suspense, intensity, and the raw emotions of those who stand at the edge of fate. The fateful night, the roar of motorcycle engines shattered the park's silence. 5 bikes slithered into the parking lot like predators hunting their prey. Headlights cast eerie shadows on worn leather jackets, menacing tattoos, and eyes that glinted with challenge. Ethan Carter didn't need to turn around to know trouble had arrived. Sitting under a tree, his philosophy book still open in his hands, he felt the movement of the newcomers. Years of martial arts training had taught him to read people, and these guys weren't just passing by. A burly, bald man with a nasty scar across his brow stepped forward, his sharp gaze cutting through Ethan. "Kid, what are you doing here alone?" His voice was rough, deep, and laced with threat. Ethan calmly closed his book, his eyes steady. "Waiting for my little brother." Behind Scarface, a few others scoffed. A man with long braided hair stepped up, arms crossed. "This park isn't for nerds like you. Be smart and leave before things get ugly." Ethan exhaled slowly, unwavering. "It's a public space." A raspy chuckle echoed. The bald man, known as Reaper, leaned down, his face inches from Ethan's. "Do you even know who you're talking to?" "Yes," Ethan nodded. "A guy trying to use fear to control others. But I don't scare easily." The air tightened like a stretched wire. One of the bikers cracked his knuckles, the sound sharp in the night. Suddenly a voice rang out from the distance. "Leave my brother alone." All eyes snapped toward Leo, a 10-year-old boy standing just a few steps away, his face pale, but his gaze firm. A biker with a snake tattoo on his neck sneered, pretending to kick at the air. "Look at this little guy. Got guts, huh?" Ethan clenched his fists. Every instinct screamed at him. They weren't just targeting him. They were targeting Leo. Reaper smirked. "All right, kid. Since you're so tough, let's see how long you last." He lunged, grabbing Ethan's collar. But in that instant, Ethan moved. Wham! Ethan twisted Reaper's wrist and yanked it backward. Reaper howled in pain, dropping to one knee. 2 bikers charged. Ethan sidestepped a punch, striking a rib with precise force, making the long-haired guy stagger. Another threw a kick. Ethan caught it, pivoted, and slammed him to the ground. A crowd was gathering. Some parents pulled their children away, while others started recording on their phones. Reaper roared, "What are you waiting for? Get him!" The tattooed biker pulled out a switchblade. Gasps erupted. Some onlookers stepped back, others screamed. Ethan didn't blink. As the attacker lunged, he shifted, locking the man's wrist and twisting it sharply. The knife clattered to the pavement. A crushing elbow strike sent him sprawling. Reaper hesitated. The aggression in his eyes flickered, replaced by something else. Fear. He glanced at his fallen crew, groaning on the ground. Ethan stood still, his breath slow and steady. The streetlights cast sharp shadows across his unwavering gaze. Reaper gritted his teeth. "This isn't over, kid." He yanked one of his men up. The gang retreated to their bikes, engines revving before they roared into the night. Applause erupted. Ethan flinched. He had forgotten about the crowd. Leo rushed over, eyes gleaming. That was awesome. Ethan ruffled his brother's hair, smiling faintly. I don't fight because I like it, Leo. I fight because I have to. Later that night, as Ethan lay in bed, his mother's voice echoed in his mind. Never rush into danger unless there's no other choice. She was right, but sometimes people have to stand up, not to prove themselves, but because it's the right thing to do. True strength isn't in muscles or weapons. It's in calm, control, and knowing when to stand your ground. If this story inspired you, think about the strength inside yourself. And remember, sometimes the quietest voices carry the loudest power. Like, share, and subscribe to Deep Whispers for more powerful stories of courage, discipline, and resilience. Fire.